In today's video, I'm going to take you on a journey of colour, and I'm going to go through some fantastic principles of how we can look around us and find colour in a completely different way. So stick around because you're going to be really surprised and interested and hopefully inspired by the things that I'm going to talk about in this video. So hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Joy Fay, and if you're here for the first time, fantastic. And if you're one of my subscribers, thank you so much, and thank you for so many wonderful comments. I love answering your questions and reading some of the great feedback, which I really appreciate, so thank you very much. And if you're here to learn about painting and abstract painting particularly, but all the things and the skills and the techniques that you need to make and create fabulous paintings, then you're in the right place. So let's dive in and cover this wonderful subject of seeing colour in a completely different way. The inspiration for this video and what I'm going to talk to you about comes from this wonderful book called Capturing Radiant Colour in Oils. Doesn't matter that it's in oils because the principles are the same, by a wonderful artist called Susan Sarbach. And it's the most amazing book. And I've been using this book for teaching for very many years because it really highlights how we can look at colour. And what I'm going to call it, and what Susan calls it, is full seeing colour. And that is to really use the light that is reflecting on anything to see different colour. And I'm going to show you the methods to do that. But to begin with, I want to just show you some examples of the differences, and I'm going to give you seven differences of colour use. And, most people, when they start painting, tend to go to colours that they think they see, that's in their mind rather than what they're looking at. And we call that local colour. And here's a bigger picture of it. And you can see it's just using, green for the grass, blue for the sky, grey for the shadows. And it's, a nice little picture, but it's not coming to life. So we want to have a look at all the different ways that we can look at anything when we're looking at nature. But this gives you such an insight into seeing colour and seeing full seeing colour, which you will be able to then use with whatever painting that you're doing. So it starts off with looking at just local colour. So as I said, it's what we think we see, that the grass is green, the leaves are green, the sky is blue, the earth is brown, etc. And it's before we dive into really getting a grip about how to see colour. Then we can go on to different methods. This one is expressive colour. You can see this one. And this is just expressing yourself. How do you feel? And the expressive colour is, it's pretty dynamic. It's not realistic in a way. It's very abstracted, which is absolutely fine. But it's, obviously the same picture, but done in a different way. This one is on colour theory. So, you can dive very deep into colour theory, and I'm not going to do that here. But it's obviously brighter than the local colour one that we've been looking at. There's a little bit more interest in it. Then we can go to personal colour. Well, personally, I wouldn't paint a picture like this. However, it's another take on the same picture, obviously using reds and blues and pinks. So it's kind of, it's interesting. The next one we're going to have a look at is imaginary colour. I rather like this idea. And again, it's very abstracted. And the point here, before we actually get to looking at the full seeing colour one, the point here is that we can experiment with anything. When we're looking at this kind of personal way of painting and this expressive way of painting, we can do whatever we like. So it's really kind of very interesting to look at it in this way. The next one here is symbolic colour. Well, it is kind of very dramatic. It's symbolic to the person who painted it. And again, it gives you license to do what you like. However, now let's have a look at the full seeing colour picture. Now you have to agree that there's a lot of life and interest in this lovely painting. Looking at the shadows, looking at the light, looking at how it really comes together is absolutely amazing. So if we compare now the difference between the local colour and the full seeing colour, which are you drawn to the most? I would say without a doubt it's going to be the full seeing colour one. And I'm going to show you how you can start to see these colours around you to start with, so you get an idea of how to be looking at nature in a different way, which is going to elevate any painting that you do. If you're looking at doing some kind of really beautiful landscape type paintings, when you look at this full seeing colour, they're alive. Because when you start looking at it in depth and seeing the colours in it, very little of it relates to local colour. Your shadows are blues and purples and pinks, beautiful greens mixed with a lovely rich red. Your lights are in yellows and beautiful pinks. When you start to have a look at how this works, look at the light on this roof. There's no white on it. It's yellows and pinks, but it's picking that light up so magnificently. And you look at this white here of this wall. It's got yellow tint in it. It's not just white. White is just flat. So we have to enrich the light with colour. The interesting thing, which I'm going to go into even more, is how you can start to see this and how you can begin to have this understanding of light and full seeing colour. I find it just remarkable, really, when we're looking at things all the time, and yet there's so much that we don't see until we really start looking. The challenge that nearly all of us have is that we think we know what we're looking at, and therefore we don't actually transfer to actually looking at what we're looking at. And that makes the difference. So now that I want to just go through with you how you can start looking differently, which will open your eyes to a whole new world. But just before I do that, I want to just talk about the logic behind this. And that is that, the whole atmosphere is really the colour of the rainbow. And if you have a look at all those beautiful colours in the rainbow, then you can only see it. You can only see those colours, you know, if it's raining and you get the sun shining on the rain. That's when you see the actual colours. But the colours are there all the time. They're just highlighted in that scenario where it's raining and the sun shining on it. So first of all, I would say, I know we all know what the colours of the rainbow are, but I think it's a really good idea to refamiliarize yourself, if you like. Here are a few pictures that I found on the internet of the rainbow, different images. But looking at them, it's inspiring. They're very lovely. But I think it's a good idea then to actually paint them yourself. So first of all, start with each individual colour, and then do another picture where you're blending the colours together. So it gives you kind of a feel, and it brings it to the forefront of your mind. So then when you start looking, you've got those colours already going on in the back of your mind. So how do we start looking? Well, there are a few different ways of doing this. The most important thing to start with is to relax. So, take a really deep breath right down deep into your lungs and relax. When you want to be where you can be looking. So maybe if you're outside and you're just taking in the view, the scenery, wherever it is. And this could be anywhere. It could be, in the country, it could be in the town, it could be in the city. Wherever you are, it doesn't make any difference because the same principles apply. So you just want to be standing there and just taking a few deep breaths and relax. Then to loosen up, just sort of start swaying, literally. Just let your body relax, get into the motion, into the rhythm, and feel that breathing. And whilst you're swaying, rather than focus on a specific thing, let your eyes just glide with your swaying, right? So you're not looking at shapes. I know I talk about shapes all the time, but this time we're going to forget about shapes. We're just going to have a look at colour. So as you're swaying, just take in the colour masses that you're seeing. And this is a really interesting way to let your eyes tell you rather than your thoughts tell you what you're looking at. So, nice deep breath. Sway. Let that feeling just come naturally, and let your eyes just go with the sway of what you're looking at. So whether it's, don't think about if you're looking at trees or mountains or hills or buildings or whatever. Just feel about the colours that are there. Okay, so that's starting it off. The next thing you can do is to blink. So deliberately open and close your eyes. So again, it's very difficult to focus when you're doing that, but you're getting images in your mind when you're just blinking deliberately, keeping relaxed. As soon as you tense and you think, I've got to be looking at something, it will go. So you need to stay relaxed. Then, after you've done that, you can just rub your hands together so they're nice and warm, and take your palms and lay them just over your eyes for a few minutes, just to rest the muscles in your eyes. Take them away, relax, breathe, do it again. Now, if you, dependent on what you're looking at or what's around you, just feel for those colours. for me, I'm sitting in my little studio, and outside behind the camera, I've got some trees and the sky, and I've got a little bit of a white wall and some ivy growing over the wall. Now, when I'm doing this, I don't see the white wall. I see the reflections of the green around it, of that white. It's not white. If I just do it again, how I'm going, I can also see the shadow under the leaves are a really pale blue. I'm not making this up, I promise you. This is what I'm seeing when I'm not really looking to see the colour, what colour is coming up to me, right? As I'm doing this. I also see, because it's really quite sunny and there's a lot of light shining on the leaves, I can see, again, I'm glazing. I'm not looking, I'm just got a glaze in my eye. All the top of the leaves are a beautiful yellow, and then I can see some tinges of red in some of the leaves that are turning colour, that are on the down. So with the wall, I see a beautiful green. I see blue in the shadow. Then if I'm kind of looking up at the tree is very what color is that? It's like an apple green with a lot of white mixed with it. So it's not the color of the wall white with that green, it's even lighter. So it's fascinating, because if I just looked at it, I'd just say the sun was shining, it was white, the wall is grey, and the leaves are green. But it's not at all. So really practice this exercise. Relax, let the body move, let your eyes just move with what you're seeing. If I'm looking at my room here, my walls are a kind of a tinge of yellow. They're not yellow at all, by the way, they're white. So I'm seeing tinges of yellow. Why? Now, why is all this happening? That's the logic. So let's go back to the rainbow thought. Everything is a reflection of light, be it in the light or be it in the shadow. I've got this red jumper on. So reflected in my face and in my neck is the reflection of light that's bouncing from the red to my face. Okay, it will also have a reflection on the wall, the white bookshelf behind me. Okay, so when you're looking at this video, for example, what colors are you seeing? Maybe you think you see white, you think you see blue, you think you see red, but what are the other colors that are in here, that are there, that you can see? Am I getting any reflection of the blue from the picture behind me, maybe onto my shoulder? So you start to really expand your whole vision to that reflective color, those colors of the rainbow, and they're everywhere, and they can completely enhance a picture. It's really, really fascinating. So I'd like you to go and try this exercise. It's not going to come straight away. It's not it takes a little bit of time, because you also have to train your brain to stop thinking that it already knows, if that makes sense. Training your brain to actually allow yourself to look to see, okay, rather than thinking that you know what you're already seeing, okay? Very little of my tree outside is really green, although my thought would say the tree is green. There's so many fabulous kind of highlights and colours in it of blues and yellows and whites and this and that and the other. Okay, so wonderful exercise. The principles are, think of the rainbow. Do the little paintings of the rainbow. So you familiarize yourself with those colors. Blend them together because everything is a blend of those colors. Okay? Then, wherever you are, whether you're in the house, in your apartment, outside, in the office, wherever you might be, as often as you can, just stop, take a breath, just let yourself glide for colors and see what happens, because you'll start getting those reflective colors coming at you in an amazing way. So I hope I've given you some food for thought, and that now you can start looking in a different way to all your surroundings. And if you want some more lessons and tutorials, I have a free mini course. I'll leave all that information in the description below. Plus, if you want to check out my website, I've got a lot of different wonderful online courses to help you develop your skills and your techniques so you can create fabulous paintings. So don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I bring out a video every week, and really covering interesting subjects to give you lots of inspiration. So thanks for watching, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.